Here we go. This is the last video in my mini leadership series, Higher Education Leadership Unplugged, Real Talk for Real Results. It has been such a fun and inspiring time for me too. So this is the last video having to do with coping with stress as a leader, okay? And these are the last two tips that I'm going to give you for the time being. All right, so the first one is setting realistic expectations. Now, I know you all want to be super stars, but you don't have superpowers. Okay. So here's what's happening. Sometimes you're setting expectations for your team members that are not realistic because you're setting expectations for yourselves that don't make a lot of sense. So what happens is now that stress is being transferred downward to your team because it started with you. All right. So, what you need to do is know what you have the capacity to handle, know what you can do as an individual, and then you create a plan. That way, number one, you know how to explain it to your team members in an effective way, and now it makes sense to them. Okay. I know as a leader, we all want to do the best possible job that we can do, but you also have to make sure that it makes sense because you don't want your team members to keep saying, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to do this? This doesn't make any sense. These are not realistic expectations. And what happens is a trickle down effect because now they get negged out, right? Now their attitude is shot, they're demotivated, their self-confidence is shot, and then all of a sudden you have that quiet quitting cycle that begins, and now you just turned a successful team into a revolving door. You don't want to do that. All right, the slightest mistake can be detrimental to your entire team. All right, so make sure that you're setting realistic expectations. That is so important, and it makes it so much easier for you and your team to work together, all right, to achieve that goal. The second thing is communicate effectively. Make sure that the lesson actually landed. Okay, make sure that the message was clear and concise. How do you do that? Well, ask them to communicate it back to you. All right. And you're not saying, all right, let me make sure that you understood. All right. Tell me what I said, because that's disrespectful, right? But you're just saying, all right, I want to make sure that you guys understood the assignment. All right. So explain it back to me in your own words because you want to make sure that there's no gray areas. You want to make sure that everyone is on the same page. The second thing is ask them if they have any questions. So many times as leaders, we're moving so quickly to the point where we totally forget to verify if our team actually understood what we just said. Do you have any questions? Some of them may say, yeah, can you start over? Pfft, totally missed that whole thing. There's nothing wrong with asking your team members to elaborate if there's something that they did not understand. Ask how they feel about the task. You know, this goes back to understanding the why and explaining it effectively. A lot of times you may have team members who are like, here we go, another change. I always like to use the word tweak, right? Because a change is saying in their mind, oh my gosh, I just learned this and now we're changing the entire process. So I have to unlearn that and then learn something else. No, it's just a minor tweak, right? But ask them how they feel about it. Explain why certain things are taking place. So it's much easier for your team and it's easier for you to get their buy-in also, because once they understand, then your team members are going to go, okay, that makes sense to us. All right, let's get it. All right. The fourth thing, if anything, ask them if there's any suggestions or if there's anything that they want to add. A lot of times your team members feel left out. They feel as if, okay, you're just delegating something new every single day. Nobody cares what we think. Nobody cares if we have any other opinion. You may have some people on your team who has the answer to a problem that you've been trying to solve for the longest, but because you never ask, hey, does anyone have anything to add to the situation or these tweaks? You end up taking everything on yourself when that one person over there, what they have to say could be the game changer. All right. And here's the last thing. This is what I'm sure you, as a leader, want to hear from your superiors also. What can I do to support you? How often do you hear that? And better yet, how often do you say it to your team members? Okay, it's very important. Ask them, how can I support you? Some of them may have an entire scroll of ways that, you can actually support them. But if that's what they need in order to perform their jobs efficiently, that's what you're there for. All right. So the tips that I've been giving you in the last 10 videos, they're so critical because leadership is a calling, is not for everyone. It's a service that you're doing for your team. And remember, leaders have the best teams who are there because they want to be there, because they believe in you, because they want you to win, and because they want to follow you by choice. The worst teams to have are the ones who have to show up because they absolutely have no choice and they need to provide. Okay, everyone does, but you want to have a team who's rooting for you because they understand that you have their best interest at hand. All right, for my enrollment leaders out there, if you need help and if you need support with your admissions team, hello, I have an entire admissions training platform called Next Level Admissions. It takes your advisors from the very beginning to the end, and it's not reinventing the wheel. Number one, it supports what your directors are already doing. And number two, it's a different perspective. Our students' needs have changed, right? And it's time for us to start communicating more effectively with our students and understand what their needs are so we can get more students to graduation and into the jobs that they really want. Okay, next level admissions, if you are interested, number one, it gives your team 1 year unlimited access to this platform. It is comprised of all different types of learning styles. So you have case studies, you have video lessons, there are presentations, there are fun skits, there are quizzes, there's goodies at the end, and everyone gets a certificate of completion at the end. There's also an amazing community. So all of the advisors who are actually a part of this amazing platform, they're also a part of a great community where they can support each other, where they can ask each other questions as far as objection handling, new ideas, and they're basically building each other up. All right, it's called Next Level Admissions. If you're looking for more information on that, go to my website at lessons.motivatewithkat.com. I also have a leadership project that is launching really soon, and I am so excited because I love my leaders. All right, I think you guys are doing an amazing job. I think you have one of the most important tasks and roles, period, in the industry. Okay, your advisors, they are rocking it out, but you hold the key to their success. But you have to take care of yourself first in order to do that. All right. Same website, lessons.motivatewithkat.com. I am super excited I had the opportunity to pour into you. Okay. That gives me fulfillment. All right. And let me know if you have any questions. Don't be afraid to comment. Don't be afraid to like, subscribe. That is so important because there's so much goodies on this channel. Make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss any other important notifications. And once again, if there's anyone who you really feel can gain some value from these tips, make sure that you share it with them. Until next time, love you guys. See you again.